Welcome to Sunday School with the College Gurus from New Hampshire Higher Education Assistance Foundation, the only show dedicated to answering your toughest college planning questions. Here are the College Gurus.
Welcome to Sunday School with the College Gurus from New Hampshire Higher Education Assistance Foundation, airing each and every Sunday morning on 107.7 The Pulse and 94.3 FM and 1400 AM, The Pulse of the Upper Valley. I'm Tara Payne, and as we do every week, we'll be talking college. Tips for planning and tips for paying from the College Gurus and their special guests. Do you have questions about college? Are you concerned about the cost? Whatever your question, send an email to collegegurus@NHTIF, NHTEAF.org, or find us on Facebook or Twitter. If we read your question on the air, you'll win a free I Am College Bound t-shirt. Before I introduce my guest today, I'd just like to remind listeners that NHTIF is a nonprofit organization that's been serving New Hampshire residents for 50 years. Through its Center for College Planning, NHTIF has become the state's primary resource for outstanding college planning programs for New Hampshire students, families, and K-12 schools, all for free. As always, we encourage you to visit our website at www.nhtheaf.org. Did you know that the business of video game development in the United States has passed $25 billion in annual sales? Have you ever wondered who the people are who create these interactive computer programs and how they got their start? Well, this morning we're lucky. We are talking with Professor Terry Simkin, who is a professor at New Hampshire Technical Institute here in Concord, about a relatively new program, the Animation and Graphic Game Programming program, that has piqued the interest of many students since it's first launched. And I suspect that after today's program, there will be even more applications. Professor Simkin, welcome to the program.
Thank you very much.
Terry, please give us a little background on the program at NHTI. When was the program started, and what was the rationale for establishing an animation and graphic game programming major?
Well, actually, the first students who were actually going out into the game industry happened back in 1996.
Wow.
So we had a program called Computer Engineering Technology, and we were teaching some fairly advanced programming techniques, and we were mixing graphics in, and sort of by accident, wasn't really in the intention, but students were winding up with jobs with major name game companies. And so I got teased just a little bit, saying, if you're doing it by accident, why don't you do it on purpose? So in 2003, I started the process of trying to get a degree program with the word game inside of it, approved by all of the trustees, some of them not real excited about the word game. But actually, it got approved, and in 2004, we opened our doors to have students officially enter the Animation and Graphic Game Programming degree. And we've been going strong since.
Wow, so 2004. Incredible. So, I can imagine the response from some of the trustees and even some of the parents who might be listening if their child were to come home and say, hey, I really want to major in gaming. Mom and Dad, what do you think about that? Is that awesome? I can imagine that there would be a little bit of hesitation, but at the same time, I mean, we just described it. The video game business, $25 billion and growing. And I think that with the dawn of all the mobile applications, that's only going to continue to grow for sure. So I can understand their hesitation, but at the same time, it's.
Well, I've got two things that help out with that. First of all, the education they get at NHTI in our program is like a computer science degree, and it's got a heavy emphasis on interactive animation. So what they're learning is skills that are not only useful for the gaming industry, but just a wide variety of things that that you can do with animations. It's hard to imagine any kind of advertisement, commercial activities dealing with animation. So, for example, I've had students work on digital movies, much like Pixar. And I've had students do commercials that are major name commercials that do cute little bears and toilet paper combinations.
Wow.
So there's a wide range of jobs available, technical jobs available, other than games. But games is a huge industry. Just to kind of give you an idea, I go to high school job fairs, and I tell the students, I'm connected to the internet, that I can generate a list of over 1,000 jobs available that they can look at in under 5 minutes. And then I do that. I well go past 1,000 jobs available at any instant in time in the industry. There's a huge need for people doing this. And as you mentioned, with now the handheld devices, a number of game companies are smaller now and easier to get into. I even have students beginning to start their own game activities.
Wow. So they're actually taking what they're learning in class and maybe outside of class and applying it themselves while they're still students.
Yeah, we get students that actually get published games while they're at school.
Wow, that's great. So I know for some students, they hear this major exists and they think that it sounds like a lot of fun. But I'm wondering whether it takes more than just being an avid gamer to be successful in the program.
I've got Jake Bender, who's in the room with me right now, who will be talking later on. His head's going up and down like crazy. Yeah, sure. Making games is a far cry from playing games. I mean, you have to have the love of games. I mean, I love games, but the time it takes to make things happen graphically is time-consuming. It takes a good deal of programming. It takes understanding of math. Takes understanding of physics. Doesn't necessarily have to be the physics you learn in college. These can be game physics, so they look good. Don't necessarily have to follow Newton's law exactly, but there's a lot of technical stuff that goes into making the games. But what's really cool, it's the most fun you'll ever have doing homework.
That's great. That's great. So speaking of homework, what kind of high school courses do you think would be especially helpful to a student interested in this major?
Well, what we did when we created this degree, we created actually 3 math tracks, okay? And what we're trying to do is hook the high school student who wasn't particularly excited about math. So we're looking for, at a minimum, we're looking for somebody with Algebra 1 and a grade of C. Would really like to have Algebra 1, 2, and Geometry with a grade of C. And that's the second track. And the other track that we have is a calculus track. We have students who are doing calculus level work at high school. And there's a track going through our curriculum for all 3 of those levels.
Wow. So if a student is interested in this major but maybe isn't on a college track at this point, maybe isn't signed up for Algebra 2 or calculus, and yet they're in the senior year and there isn't a lot that they can do about that, are they able to take some of those classes when they get to the Technical Institute in preparation for that major? Yeah,
we've actually got a number of 3-year paths through our 2-year curriculum so that you can actually start doing some of the game-related stuff and get excited about it, but go back and retread on some of the math that you need to bring you up to speed, and that happens a lot. I get a large percentage of the students who follow a 3-year track through our 2-year program because they're making up for things. Also, a lot of students wind up with a 3-year track through the 2-year program because they're excited and interested about a whole lot of things. There's a lot of money to be made, not only in the game development, but in the game business. So having background in business law, marketing, and adding that to your skill set when you go out to a game company or starting your own game company is a huge thing. So we got a number of students that do that.
And I can imagine, I happen to work in public relations, and I see the number of skills that you have to be able to assemble just to do that work. And I can imagine that, there may be even professionals who are just taking a course or 2 through your program in order to get those additional skills in interactive media.
Oh, yeah. We have actually an evening curriculum for people who want to come back and add to their skills. It takes longer to get through the program, but you'll still get there. And there are jobs. There are jobs all over the place. And just to kind of give you an idea of what we're dealing with numbers, I've got well over 100 students in the program. That's pretty constant. I've got 6 teachers who participate full-time in the degree program, either full-time or they're part of our department that assist with that. And I've got 2 or 3 adjuncts that support that, all of them with experience, industrial experience, commercial experience in the fields they teach in.
Mm-hmm. Well, it sounds like we're lucky to be able to have access to this rich resource right in our backyards. Now yesterday, of course, the iPhone 5 was released, right? And I'm curious what your take is on mobile applications and how this program might help prepare students to design for those type of platforms.
The platforms that we teach for are just about anything that you can imagine. So PCs, Xboxes, Wii, smart TVs, Android phones, iProducts. So yes, we teach for a wide range of platforms. The i-related handhelds are probably the biggest, fastest growing market. And what's interesting is the people that own iPhones and iPads and iPods buy more games than the people who own Android products.
Interesting.
Yes.
Yeah.
So it's a big target is the iMarket.
Great. Well, when Sunday School with the College Gurus from NHTI returns here on 107.7 The Pulse, we'll return with NHTI Professor Terry Simkin and get the student's point of view with NHTI student Jake Bender. Welcome to Sunday School with the NHTI College Gurus. We're back with our friends from the New Hampshire Technical Institute. So, to be an avid gamer is not enough. We found out that you need a solid education if you want a career in this industry, and we're lucky in New Hampshire to have a couple of campuses that can help you prepare, including, of course, the New Hampshire Technical Institute here in Concord. Do you have questions about college? Email them to collegegurus@nef.org or find us on Facebook or Twitter. If we read your question on the air next time, you'll win a free I Am College Bound t-shirt. Now we're joined by Jacob Bender, who's a first-year student at NHTI in our gaming program. Jake, welcome to the program.
Hi, thanks for having me.
And Jake, I think I may have misspoken because you're actually in year 2 of the program, right? Yeah. Okay, great. So we're excited to have you because we wanted to get a little bit of your point of view to learn what you think about the program, whether you're enjoying it, whether it is as much fun as our good professor has told us.
It is.
It is. It's that simple.
It's a lot of work, but it is a lot of fun as well.
All right. So tell us something that you've learned that you think will really help you as you pursue your goals.
I think one of the biggest things that I've learned, besides all the software development skills that I've picked up so far, is how to learn, how to teach myself better. I think a lot of people come in not really sure where to look for resources and how to look for resources. And one of the things a lot of the professors do that is very helpful is show you how to teach yourself as well as teach you at the same time. There's a lot of content we cover, and you need to be resourceful in that way.
Yeah, so with things changing so much, I assume that you need to be able to teach yourself some of these new technologies.
Yeah.
Yeah. All right. So, as you talk with students, Terry, let's come back to Professor Simkin here. How much of your focus has been on, helping them to get a job after college before maybe even they've been admitted into your program?
Well, getting a job afterwards is a rather interesting topic because we're a little bit like an artist going to school. An artist has a portfolio showing what they're capable of. So a major focus on our degree program, and we actually have classes focusing on this, is the creation of a web portfolio that's available to go along with your transcripts, to go along with your cover letter, that shows a range of what you're capable of doing, from individual capabilities to team capabilities. And it also, we use the word fun in our degree. There's a lot of things that you can study in which the word fun doesn't come up as a topic. But the reality is...
That's true, kids. If you're listening, believe me, the world of work does not always include the word fun. So tell us more.
But what sells, and that's the whole idea, what sells games is the fact that bottom line is they're fun for a lot of different reasons, but the bottom line is they're fun. So having that portfolio is an incredible levelizer. So you can go up against somebody graduating from MIT or University of Southern California or Worcester Polytech because you've got a portfolio that will impress somebody.
And in so many ways, you're really only limited by your imagination. versus I know that with a lot of other professional positions, sometimes it really is about, where you went to school and how long you studied and whether you've continued on beyond that initial undergraduate degree. And it seems that, and there are a few other professions like this where your work really speaks for itself. Is that the case?
Yeah. I mean, what's really, really important for a company is to put you right to work and have you do something useful. That's really the critical issue. So that portfolio shows what you're capable of doing. And that's the door opener, not only for other jobs, but quite a few of our schools that the students transfer to require a portfolio. Or if they don't require a portfolio, many of the schools that the students transfer to wind up with large scholarships to help pay for further education based on the fact that they've got this portfolio that shows what they're capable of doing.
And we all know that paying for college these days is extremely difficult for any family. And, I think what's nice about the Technical Institute and our other community colleges is that it really does provide an affordable pathway for someone to get that initial degree if they want to continue on, or if that's really going to be enough for them to pursue their career goals. So. Yeah. Another good point. Thank you very much. So, Jake, I got to tell you, with the exception of Angry Birds on the Kindle, the last time that I played a video game would have been Space Invaders in about 1984. So I'm really not I'm not in your demographic. Don't judge me. All right, good man. But give me an idea of a game that's out there that you think really does a beautiful job of pulling together not only the graphics and the lighting, but also the storyline.
I mean, we're talking console apps here, or
yeah, sure.
Anything?
I don't know what I'm talking about, so I'm counting on you, buddy. I'm counting on you.
I mean, I make games more than I play them. I think Skyrim's a good example.
Skyrim.
The new Bethesda RPG. Games that pull together a lot of resources from a wide variety of skill sets. Games as they've gone on have become much more advanced, much bigger projects. It used to be two people in their basement could make a big, huge game, and that was the thing. And now you have studios of 100+ people working on the same project for multiple years.
Wow.
Games are multi-million-dollar development projects these days. They're like making movies.
So,
whoa, wait a minute.
Yeah.
There's a huge new change.
Yeah.
It's the handheld devices. I was just listening to the story of 3 people who created a game for the iProduct, in which all 3 of them now have more than $20 million each.
Wow, that's amazing.
I was referring to AAA titles, but yeah, the other nice thing about our major, as Simkin just said, is indie development is making a huge resurgence, and the fact that tools like the XNA framework exist allow people and individual small groups to make commercially viable products that can be very successful. Minecraft, you might have heard of it.
Yeah.
No.
But
okay, well.
But you're the expert today. You're the expert today, Jake. All right. So I think that it's clear that there is definitely a marketplace for this major, for sure. I'm always amazed by even just the graphic designers in my own shop. They're so talented. And I'm wondering, do you find that people in your major, your friends in class, Jake, are they more interested in the artistic aspect, the technical aspect, the storytelling aspect of creating games?
I think people in my class are more technically oriented. We focus, we have the art classes and some of the design classes, but I think overall our major focuses on the code and the background development, software development, which I like personally. But I definitely think you find more people interested in software development rather than the art side. And there's certainly many people in our major who are very good at art, very good at sound, good at stories. Overall, it's a software focus. And
Professor Simkin mentioned that a lot of times you're working in teams, right? That even some of your projects in your portfolio are team-based. So that variety of skills must come in very handy. Right. And even on smaller student projects and groups, there's still a lot of content to cover. And, you have one person working on part of it, another person working on another part, and, you have to get it to work together. And there's a lot of good skills learned from that. Some of the projects, even at our level, are too big for one student to take on in the amount of time we have. So. And, really being able to work collaboratively is huge in business today, no matter what business you're in. So I think those skills will serve you well, regardless whether you continue on in the gaming industry, which clearly you will, Jake. I'm intimidated by you. I think you're going to be a star. But whatever field, it does go to show that collaborative nature of the program is very helpful. Professor, do you think that that's something you've been intentional about when you give them projects?
Oh, yeah. And as a matter of fact, there's software that's available. It's kind of like a library. It allows you to check code out and put code back in again.
Oh, no way.
So as a team member, you actually check out a chunk of code that you're supposed to work on, and you put it back in the library, and then you recompile the project.
Wow.
So there's part of that as the learning process.
Mm-hmm. Oh, that's very interesting. So you're proud of this program, obviously, Professor Simkin.
Extremely proud of the program. And I'm proud of where the students are going. They're not only getting jobs, but they're continuing with their education. And they're going into a wide variety of different schools. Some continue in technical areas, some continue more in the art, some shift over to the design, some shift to the business, and some students actually continue on with a pure computer science degree.
Mm-hmm. Great. And Jake, any last words of advice for a high school student who might be considering the major?
Yeah, just, have realistic expectations coming in. It's a lot of work. It's not all fun and games. We do have a lot of fun, but making games and playing games are two very separate things, and it's something you need to be ready for. Yeah,
it sounds like it takes a lot of work to make it look that fun, huh? That's what we usually say at our office. Yeah.
We have fun.
Yeah, good. Good. Jake, you seem like you have fun. Mm-hmm. So if your goal is to create computer, console, mobile, or online games, or you just want to learn more about the development of animation for other interactive industries, being an avid gamer, as we've said, is not enough. You need a solid education. And if you want a career in the industry, we're very lucky that we have the animation and graphic game programming design program at New Hampshire Technical Institute. Terry Simkin is with the New Hampshire Technical Institute's Animation and Graphic Game Program, and he was joined by student Jake Bender. Thank you both for being here.
Thank you
for having us.
All right, remember to catch the College Gurus from NEAF each and every Sunday morning on 107.7 The Pulse and 94.3 FM and 1400